I was taken back, my friends, by the depth of level of conversation that I went into with a stranger very recently. Let me tell you about it. Superman. Super Steve. All right, guys. I recently had a conversation with a fellow entrepreneur. We found ourselves engaged in a conversation on a unexpected Tuesday at a coffee shop that neither of us had ever been to. And I was transformed. All right. I tell people all the time, you never know who's going to show up in your life, but they always show up at the time that they're supposed to. The people who are supposed to cross your path show up when they are supposed to. And if you pull your head out of your phone or off of your laptop or out of your journal or the book you're reading and you look up and you acknowledge this human being and you say hello and you offer a smile and you show that you're open to conversation, well, one may just happen, which was the case on this particular Tuesday. I found out that this entrepreneur was visiting Austin, considering moving here, had recently sold a company, has had amazing levels of success. And I had recently been reviewing my journal and some of the more morbid posts I've been putting in there about, man, why haven't I hit the grand slam? What do I need to do to be super successful? How do I really have that big, huge success, whether it be with Ripple or whether it be with a software company? And I looked at how many times I whined into my journal this year that it wasn't happening fast enough. It's just not working, or it's not going where I thought it would. And then I realized during the course of this conversation with him, as I shared a little of my story, there's a lot to be proud of. There is a lot to hang my hat on. And though I may not be able to say I've had a grand slam success on the massive scale, pretty major league wins though, pretty big major league wins for me. And that entrepreneurial journey that I've had has allowed me the flexibility to be an active parent, to be engaged with what my kids were doing when they were in school, to coach soccer for 28 years and form all these amazing relationships with my players and their families, to be able to have the flexibility to do things that I wouldn't if I was otherwise tied to a desk or a role within a company. I just probably wouldn't have the gumption, nor would I have the energy, because that job would have sucked my soul dry, and that's no bueno. So as we were reflecting on our entrepreneurial journeys, here's a guy that would definitely, without a doubt, be considered a grand slam hitter in his successful career, and yet he is lonely. He's going through a divorce, disconnected from his kids, doesn't have close personal friendships, and he's looking at coming to Austin for a fresh start. Here's a guy that's got all the trappings of success and no one to share it with. Here's a guy that has hit that grand slam, and at the end of the day, I think he'd trade it in a heartbeat to have what I have. And it was an absolute wake-up call for me to recognize how lucky and blessed I am. And I still think I might have a grand slam in here somewhere, but even if it doesn't happen and I look back on the body of my work, I have such gratitude and appreciation for the path that the Ripple has taken me down. All the twists, all the turns, all the challenges, all the problems, everything that I've had to overcome just to get here, to be on camera having this conversation with you. And by the way, this was no short effort on my part because I don't like hearing my own voice. I don't like seeing myself on video. And I know when you saw those early videos, man, that boy was uncomfortable. Now I feel like I've leaned into this. I feel like I'm better than I was. And I feel like I'm really adapted a skill set for really being good on my interviews for my podcasts and other series that I do. And I look at that and I think, man, with all that I've got going on, with all the plates that are spinning, I still keep catching. I still keep them spinning, and I still show up every day with a slight amount of enthusiasm, sometimes more days than others, or more enthusiasm than on certain days than others, but I still show up and I put in the work, and I can look back at the body of what I've done and really feel a sense of appreciation for it. And as we both sort of wound down our conversation that random Tuesday in a coffee shop, the guy said, man, I envy you. Envy me? You rolled up in a Porsche, buddy. You're living in a $10 million house out in Malibu, buddy. You got endless supply of capital to do anything you want. And you envy me? And it was as if that was what God put in my heart in that moment to say, you didn't need a grand slam to be successful, Steve. You just needed a wake-up call to realize you already are. Thank you to my new friend who apparently now subscribes to this channel. Thank you for recognizing these things in me to help me recognize them in myself. And you may feel a bit lonely and isolated, but if you move to Austin, and even if you don't, you got a new friend in me. You've got a friend in me. Play that, cue that Randy Newman song. You got a friend in me. Just enough that I don't get a copyright ding. But I had to share it because it was kind of like a revelation for me today. Well, not today. On that Tuesday and every day since, that I'm trying to reach for something that I used to think was important relative to success. All the money, the cars, the houses, all the materialistic trappings of success don't make you successful. People like you make me successful. Relationships that I've developed along the way make me successful. Kids that come to me now in their 30s who say, Coach, you made a difference in my life. That is what success is about. Anyway. Yeah. I need to go to more random coffee shops apparently on Tuesdays. Meet some cool people. Till next time, my friends. Ripple on. You've got a friend in me. Super Steve.